I saved her. Hey guys, it's Chris, and in today's video, I'm discussing The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 1. This episode is titled Future Days. Let's dive in. In Episode 1, set 5 years after the events in Salt Lake City, 19-year-old Ellie discovers a new stage of the infection while on patrol with her best friend, Dina. Meanwhile, Joel seeks assistance in Jackson to repair his father-daughter relationship with Ellie. First, let's discuss the positive aspects of Episode 1. Joel feels guilty about deceiving Ellie about the Fireflies, so he visits the town's counselor. Gail senses that Joel is hiding something. He is too afraid to confront it and feels terrible for lying to Ellie. He chose to save her because he cannot bear the thought of losing her as he did with Sarah. Joel states, I saved her. His significant actions from Season 1 begin to affect him at the start of Season 2. Now, I just want to explain a little bit. At the end of Season 1 of The Last of Us, Joel slaughtered all of the Fireflies in the hospital, the St. Mary Hospital, because they wanted to perform brain surgery on Ellie. And if you know anything about surgery, brain surgery would just essentially kill her. And Joel is really starting to feel the guilt of that. Like, these Fireflies could have developed a cure, but instead he slaughtered most of them, or if not all of them, at the hospital, besides Abby. Joel lied to Ellie right from the end of Season 1. And that just lie is just starting to take a toll on him. Next is the supermarket sequence with Ellie and Dina. They explore an abandoned supermarket while on recon patrol. Let me just say that shot of the bear's corpse outside the supermarket was grisly. Just the intestines all over the ground, and there's blood, and there's all these infected around it. I wonder how he got killed. Probably got outnumbered by the stalkers. Ellie and Dina take down 2 clickers before Ellie falls to the floor. Dina advises her to stay put, but she does not listen. Ellie carefully explores the supermarket while a stalker follows her. A stalker is an infected variant that was introduced in The Last of Us Part 2. This infection represents the second stage after the runners and lasts anywhere from 2 weeks to a year. We'll explain a little bit more of the different stages of the infection later in the video. Stalkers are more aggressive than runners and display more cordyceps growth on their heads. Now, I will say I really do like the design of the stalker in Episode 1. It's very faithful to the game. My only minor nitpick of the stalker is that in The Last of Us Part 2, usually stalkers, there's usually like 3 or 4 of them around. There's never just one single stalker. So that's just a minor nitpick. They are smarter, using the shadows to their advantage to stalk their prey before attacking. They cling to walls and surfaces, allowing the fungus to thrive. The fungus is just as alive as all these other variants of the infection. Alright, let me explain the different stages of the infection. Stage 1, runners. Stage 2, stalkers. Stage 3, clickers. Stage 4, bloaters and shamblers. And Stage 5 is the worst of the worst. It's the most cold-blooded of the stages, the Rat King. Now, the Rat King was introduced in The Last of Us Part 2, but I believe we probably won't see the Rat King until Season 3. Enough about the Rat King. I just wanted to list off all the 5 different stages of the infection in The Last of Us, if you didn't know. At the end of this sequence, the stalker attacks Ellie. She successfully kills it, but sustains a bite. Thankfully, she is immune. Episode 1 features the iconic New Year's Eve dance kiss. Ellie and Dina share their first kiss, and it's very replicated the same way as it is in the game. Now, I want to explain a little bit. In The Last of Us Part 2, it's just implied. The game starts a day after the New Year's Eve dance, In the game, we're not really shown this dance, besides in a flashback. But during the beginning of The Last of Us Part 2, it's mostly just mentioned in dialogue. I really do like how they're changing the narrative structure of The Last of Us Part 2 for Season 2. This scene remains faithful to the game and feels authentic. This scene perfectly captures the spirit of this heartwarming moment. Unfortunately, Seth and Joel had to ruin the moment. Future Days marks a promising start to this season, highlighting an outstanding performance from Pedro Pascal, Joel. The introduction of the Stalker hints at more gruesome infected later in the season. Please, Season 2, just give me some Shamblers, or give me more bloaters. Give me some more of that bloater action. Like, come on. You know what I'm talking about. Episode 5, Season 1. Ellie wants to be seen as more mature, but in some scenes, she acts very goofy and childish. I prefer more gritty and edgy humor. This episode provides glimpses of Abby, who's on a quest for revenge, and this is just the beginning. If you played The Last of Us Part 2, you know exactly what's coming. I mean, even if you played the first couple hours of The Last of Us Part 2, this very, very, very controversial moment in The Last of Us Part 2 is probably going to happen in The Last of Us Season 2, which involves Abby and Joel. I recently played The Last of Us Part 2 remastered on PS5, and I would highly recommend that version of the game if you never played The Last of Us Part 2. I played the PS4 version when it came out in 2020, and I really do like The Last of Us Part 2. It's very controversial with some aspects and some choices to the story, but it's still a really, really good game, especially from Naughty Dog. You know I love them. They made Uncharted. Like, come on. I'm Spider-ManChris, and I'll see you in the next one.